In this video, I continued the discounted dividends model. In the last video, we looked at the constant growth stock, and we said that if the dividends are growing at one constant rate, we can find the present value of those future dividends, or the price of the stock, equal to the next dividend, the first dividend we expect to receive after purchasing the stock, divided by R. R is our required return, or the discount rate, minus G, which is that growth in dividends. We know this is a simplistic model. Dividends aren't typically constant from the beginning. So how do we take what we've done here and extend it to the example of a non-constant growth stock? So let's look at an example. Let's assume the required return on this company's stock is 13.4%. N, which signifies the years of non-constant growth, equals 3. So we would say this is 3 years of non-constant growth, or supernormal growth. We typically assume that in the beginning, once the company does start paying dividends, there are going to be very, very high rates of dividends, and eventually competition will take over, and we're going to hit some constant growth as we continue with our operations. The growth rate, once we do hit constant growth, will be, the growth rate in the non-constant period, let's see, this is G sub S, S for the supernormal period, is 30%, and then G sub N, once we hit the normal period, will be 8%. The last dividend that the company paid was $1.15. So we want to use this information to try to determine what is the price of this company's stock. Let's draw our timeline. We have 3 years of supernormal growth. So here our G is 30%, our G is 30%, and our G is 30%. After year 3, we say this becomes a constant growth stock where G equals 8%. So we need to figure out what our dividends are. We'll do that over here on the side. D0 was $1.15. So we're not including D0. We assume that was before we purchased the stock. We have D1, D2, D3, and D4 that are all important. D1 is equal to D0, 1.15, times 1 plus the growth rate, 1 times 1.30. This is equal to 1.495. D2 is equal to 1.495 times 1 plus the growth rate, or we could say the original D0 times 1.30 squared. Either way, we should get to 1.9435. D3, 1.9435 times 1.30. Times, this is the last year of this 30% growth rate. D3 is 2.52655. D4 is the first year where the dividend grows only at 8%, and it does that continually. And so D4 is 2.7287. All right, so my first dividend, remember the value of the stock is the present value of the future cash flows. So I'm just putting together my future cash flows. 2.52655, and D4 is 27287. All right, so next thing we need to do is think about what is the present value of this cash flow stream. We need to discount D1, our first dividend, 1.495. Discount it by 1 plus the growth rate, sorry, not the growth rate, 1 plus the required return, 0.134. And this will give us the present value of this first dividend is 1.318. Present value of this second dividend, 1.9435 divided by 1 plus the interest rate, or the required return, discounted 2 periods. This is going to work out to be, my computer's given up on me here. This is going to work out to be 1.5113. D3, we discount 2.5, let's just say 2.53, discount it at 1.134 cubed because we're going back 3 periods. Not sure where my information is going, if it's going to come back. Let's hope it does. There it is. Okay. Let's just give this crazy Surface Pro a minute to catch up here. All right, so the present value of D3 works out to be 1.7326. So what we've just done is calculated the present value of each one of these dividends in the non-constant growth period. Okay, so once again, we've just gotten the present value of each one of the 3 dividends in the supernormal or non-constant growth period. And now what can we say about this stock? After we receive D3 in the future, jump in time into year 3. What do we have here? At year 3, we have a constant dividend stock, a stock that's going to pay a constant growth rate of 8%. So at the end of year 3, what we can do is use our valuation of a constant growth stock at year 3. So at year 3, so we can call this P3, the value of the stock is going to be the next dividend, D1, or in this case it's D4, but D3 plus 1, D4, 2.7287. D1, and we want to divide that by the difference between R minus G. The required return on the stock, 0.134 minus 0.08, that growth rate. So if we take 2.7287 divided by 0.134 minus 0.08, we get a price at time 3 of $50.53. So what do? Do we just add to the present value of our 3 dividends? Do we add the 53? We can't do that. Something's missing if we were to do that. So far, all of our numbers listed in column 0, the present values today, are all where we've discounted each one of the dividends. We also have to discount the stock, the price of the stock at time 3. So what do? We take this price of the stock, 50.3531, and discount it by 1 plus the required return, 1.134, and we're going back 3 years. the present value of this stock of 50.531 3 years from now is worth to us today $34.65. So I need to add, along with the present value of each of the first 3 dividends, I need to add the present value of this stock at year 3 once it becomes a constant growth stock. So I'm going to sum up my dividends, the present value of D1 here, present value of D2, present value of D3, plus the present value of the stock once it becomes a constant growth stock. And when I sum these up, I get the price today of this stock, which is $39.21. Add all these, get $39.2135. And this here is our present value of the stock. And even my computer can't handle all of this math. Here we go. Here's our present value of this non-constant growth stock, $39.21.